If I
Thanks,
could throw
guys.
a question back at you two real quick, like what are you two seeing in the market? Like what are some things that maybe you could provide to Kyle and myself around, hey, are you guys seeing this? Are you aware of this?
Yeah, I mean, I think we mentioned some of it. I think there's like the concern around the AI and like what are we going to look for in entry level candidates? And I'm definitely seeing like the shiny object chasing, and that is directly in conflict with profitability or science projects, right? And so, like, leaders are still sometimes not striking the balance well enough. And I think there's a learning curve there. I think it's I mean, maybe there won't need to be a learning curve if a bunch of money's available. And then the only other thing that I don't think we really touched on is like, I think startups are eating some of these bigger companies' lunch. Like,
Hmm.
I think they're moving quicker. It'll be interesting to see if the acquisition market picks up and that's like a real viable opportunity for people to go start their own company again, or if I'm in partnership. So, like, will you use a bunch of different products that have great interconnectivity and have a specific need? And does that consumption based model become really compelling then instead of paying for a bunch of platform fees? So, those are a few of the things I'm seeing. Demetrius, you always have a bunch of thoughts.
I think there are a couple of things. Number one, I see that the typical borders between the roles are getting blurred. I think we talked about like how AE is becoming a little bit more like a pre-sales because they have to. I think BDRs, SDRs, they act more like the AEs. I think I see there's also a trend bringing together more acquisition and the customer success. So our customer success is becoming more sales oriented function than only working on the relationship and to an extent support. Speaking about a customer success, I think support is another trend that is just about to obsolete. That part of the go to market definitely will be significantly reduced, and I think the AI will play a big role here. Another trend I see also is more investment in efficiency
Uh-huh.
through enablement. So suddenly started to see a lot of roles that are sales enablement oriented. They focus on leverage that function, although I don't think the roles are properly defined, in my opinion. I'm happy to explore more on that front. But that's definitely a trend. The other one is you mentioned that comment about the pricing change.
Uh-huh.
I connect this directly with the AI and the last 2 years of investments. We heavily investing as a as a VC community, as a startup community into these AI based companies. They're building the product a different way. They're going to be differently organized around the product as well, and that means go to market will be different. Heavily relying on the POG. You said that, and for that reason, the pricing will be different as well. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So all the three things that you mentioned are coming from that, and there's this new wave coming from the AI that will eventually push the existing incumbents, that were in their own old way of doing building software into that adoption risk
Okay.
area. And I started to really see this. Like, there are certain brands that, they were dominating in their own category, but I think the star is just less shiny because you see these emerging, very effective, cost-effective companies. So yeah, these are the kind of the main trends I see,
Uh-huh.
specifically for anyone who is in the go-to-market. My advice would be to invest in your ability to read the data. And it's not about having the data. It's about creating an insight. You can have all the data in the world, but if you can't create a synthesis of that, it's just worthless.